from Koreatown, Los Angeles. Thank you for tuning in to Ktown Social Club. This is where the world gathers to talk about the issues that you really care about. It's a different kind of a talk program. We're the only show that offers perspectives from the far left to the far right. Leave a comment, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and smash that notification bell.
That's something else, I think, Michael.
Check the description box below to follow all of our social media. And I'm Michael Kim, joined today by Edward Choi, Douglas Kim, who is being covered by Rocco 1540 Robot. And we're here today with a very special guest, partially from the Philippines, partially from Korea, but all LA. So let's give a warm round of applause to our guest today, Nathan Ramos Park.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I've been listening to the pod, and it's a titillating experience. So.
Titillating.
Yes. I'm so excited to be part of that titillation. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're finally able to join us. You know, we go to the same gym, which we talked about on the last episode.
Did.
And you heard about that recent scooter incident?
No, wait. Yes.
Old,
oh, yeah.
You know, that was just down the street in front of Kilmok. You know that place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, I drive past there almost every day. So, yeah, I guess I've been seeing you around for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, we just say hello here and there. And then you did a video with Radio Korea a few months back with Elaine for the Filipino Town video. Because, you know, he's like Filipino and Korean. So I asked him if he would do the tour with us, which he did.
It was awesome. I feel like we connected a lot at a lot of things at the gym, you know, but there's working out, but then every time I come in the gym, you're playing some great throwback EDM, and I'm just like, as a baby raver, I'm like, here we go, learning from the man himself, you know. And
that particular song that I recall that you were trying to Shazam or whatever.
Yeah.
It's called Joshua Ryan, and the song is called Pistol Whip.
Yeah.
Okay, it's about an 8-minute track. It takes a while to build up, but it's a great, what do you call it, climax?
Yeah,
an unleashing of the load that gets released.
Catharsis of sound, if you will.
It's great. And the guy who wrote that, Joshua Ryan, he's a founder of, Jewish guy. He founded some media company. I think it was called The Verve or something.
Oh.
But it's crazy. He was like an EDM producer. So, yeah, that was it. And let me get to the video that we made with you. Oops. I should have probably set this up before.
How do you know Doug?
Oh, you know Doug?
Yeah, so I know Doug. I've known him for years, actually. We met there was like an Asians in Entertainment event, and randomly I didn't really know him, and I needed a roommate, though. My roommate had just moved out, and I started talking to Doug. You know, he's wearing his pajamas at this event, and I was like, but he was just, you know, I think I'm drawn to kind of people with maybe like a more kind of peculiar sensibility. And so, of course, I started talking to Doug, you know, and we just kind of were chatting, and I was like, oh, I need a roommate. And he needed a roommate at the time. So we ended up moving in together and lived together for like a bit over a year.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So you met Doug on a per happen chance?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And then we knew some similar people. And then, I don't know, I just think that there's something so refreshing to meet someone with such a strong personality that you can really bounce a ball off really hard, or you can just kind of like poke a stick and just like kind of. I sometimes just get bored, and so I'll just be like, Doug, and sometimes you get to just push play and then just get to listen to the sound, and then opt out when you would like to. So I think that's Doug and I's friendship, you know.
And you guys lived together during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So there was like nothing else to do but like get to know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, telling him like, hey, you should read this book, you know, and he just and then what's fun is you can feed information into his brain and then kind of figure out, take what you want from his processings. I think that's what's really kind of, I think, interesting about Doug. Is what I'll say.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. I think that, to be fair, he is muted on
is a
all.
good guy.
I have muted Doug on all platforms because I as much as I love talking to him face to face, I think that we inevitably do see the world differently in many ways, and his sheer output is just overwhelming. So for me, I'm just like, if I want to engage in how he sees things, then I will dip in, and then I can,
Yeah.
let him.
He does output a lot.
Yeah,
He
let
does.
him stay in his feelings. He has a lot of feelings.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, I can actually relate to that though, because Doug and I have very differing views on the world. Yeah, yeah. We'll get into some heated, I'll say conversation here, but then immediately afterwards, from a interpersonal relationship level, he's a good guy.
Yeah, and you can't doubt that the things he says really provoke emotion and thought, and
For sure.
so he's not even here. He's a robot right now, and we're talking, just chatting about him, So
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, so he's a great guy, and we miss
Blink
him,
twice if you're
and
okay.
we're really looking forward to Doug's return, so we can talk to him in person.
So this video is from earlier this year.
Yeah. This is the Filipino video. Kubo. What is this? This is the traditional place.
Yeah, this is
it looks like a traditional
Filipino food.
Now, let's. I'm kind of curious about some of this stuff. So,
Which one of your parents was Filipino and which was Korean?
So my mom is from Korea.
Okay.
She grew up in Paju, so
Near the border.
Yeah, near the border. And her dad was like a Korean pig farmer.
Okay.
So he loved singing. So he'd sing karaoke out into the mountains, And my mom said that she woke up one day and all the pigs had died, and she's just like, ugh. I gotta go figure something else out. And so she was working at like a consignment shop in Seoul. She would go buy clothes and resell them. And then her sister was a DJ at this club that spun for like American military. And so my dad went to West Point and then graduated. He was the only one born in America in Texas, but his family's from the Philippines. And then he was stationed in Korea and then met my mom. And I think that at the time, my mom was kind of like, oh, I want to maybe leave Korea. And so, that's how she came to America.
your dad's a Filipino-American West Point guy from Texas who was stationed in Korea, met the daughter of a pig farmer from Paju.
Oh, failed pig farmer.
Yeah.
Right.
Failed pig farmer.
Who liked to
a
sing.
loser.
Yeah. No offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they met, fell in love, and then you were born.
Yeah, they were stationed in not North Korea. They were stationed in North Carolina, and my brother was born there. We're 3 years apart, and then my dad got out of the military, and he became a NASA engineer, computer engineer.
Wow.
And so we were stationed in outside, half an hour outside of Cleveland. There's a NASA base there.
Oh,
And so,
really?
yeah. So I grew up in very small town, Ohio. Actually.
Oh, I thought you were going to say somewhere in Florida because that's where NASA has their biggest operations.
Yeah. So that's like space, but there's aerospace in Ohio. Yeah. So
Near Cleveland, you said?
yeah, like half an hour south of Cleveland.
How far is that from Columbus?
Maybe like 2 hours. Hour and a half, 2
What's
hours.
with all these Koreans I know who lived in Ohio, including my mother? She lived there in the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's just, I don't really know. There's like a,
And my grandfather,
We
too.
tiny
didn't know.
pockets.
There was no
Yeah.
internet, so you just go where
Yeah.
other people went, and then you're like, why are we here
yeah,
in Ohio?
Yeah, and my dad was in Indiana, and they met out there. And
yeah.
no, they actually met in Ohio. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you grew up in Ohio for a bit.
Yeah, grew up in Ohio. I stayed there until I was 24. And then
Whoa.
Ohio
yeah.
till 24.
Yeah, I was a teacher for 2 years after I
what?
was originally a singer, so I won Ohio Idol, which was a whole other thing. Got tons of death threats from white people since I won this Ohio scene. They're like, you don't represent Ohio, that kind of thing. And
Like,
and
little
then,
do you know about all these Korean people here.
yeah. And then I taught for 2 years, taught theater in Cleveland,
Okay.
and then moved to New York for 5 years. And so I was an actor in also helped kind of celebrity chefs with their restaurants in New York for
Do you
fun.
cook or like from a
We
marketing
cooked,
standpoint?
from I was like a bartender, so I had like bar managing and stuff like that. And so I had the highest selling margarita on Cinco de Mayo in 2015.
Nice.
2014. Yeah,
The
yeah,
high selling margarita.
yeah. I like made a margarita for Be Our Guests. So there's like the biggest restaurant conglomerate in New York City, and my margarita won like this big company-wide competition, and so I ended up, getting my margarita on the menu, and then it was like the highest-selling margarita.
You just win all kinds of local competitions, huh?
I'm addicted to. Well, I like competing in things, but I'm very low effort because I'm just very talented.
You're just that good.
And so I actually hate competing because I don't like winning. Like anytime I'm playing video games, it's like I'll be winning and then I'll just make sure to stop winning because it's actually not fun to be a winner.
I disagree.
What video games do you play?
Like Smash, and we're playing a lot of Hidden in Plain Sight and Boomerang Fu right now. All the Gaysians are addicted to Hidden in Plain Sight and Boomerang Fu. Those are like the two big
Is
games
this
right now.
PlayStation or Wii or what?
It's on Switch.
Oh, Switch.
Yeah.
Is that the gay Asians that use Switch?
Yeah. Well, so the big Gaysian event in LA is called Switch because it used to be called Gameboi, but they've kind of evolved
Gameboi.
it.
I remember Gameboi.
Yeah,
Not that
yeah.
I went there.
Well, you should have. You could have.
Wait,
We're
and then
open
do
to
you guys
all.
play games? I'm confused.
No, well, we have also like Gaysian gaming clubs, and like they are at like the gay bars
okay,
too.
I see.
Wait,
But
that gay Asian club that was called Gameboi, because my gay guy buddies would be like, "Let's go to German guy." He's like, "Let's go to Gameboi."
Yeah.
because he's really into what's he called? Rice. He's into Asian
yeah,
guys,
he's a rice
right?
queen. Yeah.
And his boyfriend, who's Vietnamese, is into European guys only.
A potato queen.
Potato Queen.
Potato Queen.
But
Yeah.
he would be like, "Let's go to Gameboi," and then the Asian guy's like, "Ugh, I don't want to go there,"
Wow.
because he's not into Asians at all.
That's sad for him.
Yeah. So I noticed so even in the gay Asian community, there's this sort of like, if you're Asian, a lot of Gaysian dudes don't like Asian dudes. They like white guys.
Well, I think it's really changed in the last, I would say 5 to 10 years. I would say most.
For the worse?
I would no for the better. I would say
Okay.
I would say honestly like 80 to 90% of Asians are now like what we call sticky, which is like sticky rice.
Sticky rice.
Yeah, so we date other Asians. And I would say only between like
because you
yeah.
stick to each other.
Yes, yeah.
Yep,
And so I think it's very much so changed, like especially West Coast Asian culture. I think it's because it's also closer to Asia, so we have such a connection to like being not only Asian American but also like part of the Asian diaspora. And so yeah, it's interesting. I think that a lot of that kind of, looking to whiteness was just a product of generational oppression and kind of thing. And so I think it's really changing.
Yeah, that's cool. Before you came here, we had on John Yee as a guest, and he mentioned that he got married in April. And I said, was it to a Korean guy? And he goes, yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember feeling like, oh, how nice. Like,
Yeah.
because I don't know why in my mind I thought it was a white guy, but
And they're a hot couple. They're just always duding around.
John.
Yeah, I just saw them at DTLA Proud. We're dancing together. I have this theory. Maybe this is not John and Richard necessarily, but I think that all of Gaysia in 10 to 20 years, we're just going to be one giant polycule, because like that's kind of how that is where gay Asian culture and community I feel like is going, is we're just creating this almost like an anthill. Like we are all becoming like one hive mind that like cares for each other and fucks each other. No, just
okay.
Yeah. And yeah.
no, I heard that there's a lot of that too. I mean, never mind. I don't want to. Okay. So I used to hang out at the Abbey a lot
Yeah.
because I didn't feel comfortable going to like the Hollywood clubs. Because I used to go there when I was, using some substances, and like when I stopped, And, there'd be like some gang members or something, or I don't know, thug types.
Okay.
So I would go with my gay buddies because I just want to like, have fun and, kind of dance a little.
Yeah.
So we just go to the Abbey. The Abbey is the world's #1 gay club, or is it still?
Well, I think the Abbey is now like a straight bar for all intents and purposes now.
Because all the straights started going there.
Yeah, I don't think any gay people go to the Abbey really anymore. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's mostly like a safe space for straight women that will bring like their supportive boyfriends or husbands. I feel like there's no real like gay people that go to. I would say it's for tourists and for straight people.
Oh, that sounds sad.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little sad.
Well, I feel like gays are now. I feel like WeHo is now for straight people almost, and now like the gays are now either downtown or at warehouse parties.
The progressive straight people who are like, look at me, I'm not homophobic, I'm here.
Look at me, I'm not homophobic, I'm just gentrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
Just doing white men things.
Yeah.
I would take my girlfriend there, and we would hang out there.
Yeah.
We would do all that stuff. Man, sorry I ruined it for you guys.
Oh, it's okay. We found other places to be.
Right. But I haven't been there in about 10 years. I would like to go again someday, but
Apparently not the same, though. It's just a bar.
We can relive the old days,
Just a bar with still, I'm assuming, a go-go dancer?
Yeah, there's all the go-go dancers.
Oh, the dudes in the thongs.
Yeah. But it's like 50%. It's now there's women dancers as well now.
Oh.
So, you're being real. There's like, it really is straight now.
Yeah,
That's
it's
weird.
very
I hear Elizabeth Taylor used to go there like all the time, like in a wheelchair or something. Is that
as one of the dancers.
no, like just to hang out, when she was like an old lady and all this.
I love that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, can we cut to this thing? I want to find out about this Filipino
the reason
food.
why I asked about your parents was, did you grow up mainly eating Filipino food or Korean food?
I grew up actually mostly Korean culturally. So in Cleveland we went to like tiny, like our youth group was literally like 3 kids, like me, my brother, and one other kid in Ohio, like at a Korean church. It's a Korean Baptist church. And so my dad doesn't actually even feel, he's never been to the Philippines. He doesn't really feel connected to, being Filipino. He has no real desire to go to the Philippines. And so my mom, like we had to go to Korean school on Saturdays. We had to like be very Korean. But it's weird when you're, especially like in the Gaysian scene, like it's interesting meeting other Koreans because Korean people especially are so like pure blood kind of. So it's interesting.
Elitist.
Even though I feel more Korean, I don't necessarily feel connected to the Korean community. But it's interesting because like the Filipinos, we almost have that like one drop rule where it's like, oh, Haley Steinfeld, 1/8 Filipino. Oh yeah, that is a Filipino queen, there is this much more, I think, Filipino communalism and community in LA and West Coast and abroad too. So
unless you're Shay Mitchell.
But well, that's her choice.
Now you can't claim to be Filipino ever.
Light shade Mitchell.
You can go be Spanish all you want, girl.
Yeah, exactly.
See ya.
Have fun. Yeah.
So you've been to the Philippines and you've been to Korea. Where in the Philippines have you been?
I was just in Manila. I was working there. I had a movie that was made for Disney Southeast Asia, and so we did development and pre-production in Singapore. So I was working there for like a month, and then we did pre-production some more development stuff in the Philippines.
So you were in Singapore for a month, and then you went to the Philippines for
a week, or for like 8-10 days. Yeah.
So for that 5-6 week period, you didn't go to the gym then? You didn't go to Danny's gym because I remember there was a period where I didn't see you for a while.
Yes.
So you were in Singapore.
Oh, I was in Australia. So I was shooting. I was shooting my Amazon feature in Australia when I was gone.
Wow. So you're like way in the industry. You're like all over the place. You've been in the industry for a long time, like in the Hollywood industry.
Yeah, I started acting, when I was 18, and that's like 20 years ago.
From Ohio too.
Yeah. And so.
You didn't even have to move.
Yeah.
Well, because like a lot of people think that like you have to like be in Hollywood to act, and it's not true.
Yeah, and then a lot of people come here and it doesn't work out, but this guy was in Ohio and he made it happen, and now he's flying all over the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I have to talk about my privileges of as an Asian and going into acting. Like I'm tall for an Asian guy. And like at the time when I started in New York, there was way less Asian men, and so I was tall. I could like speak English fluently, and I could sing, and I actually studied acting, and so there was this like, it's a very small pool, and so I moved to New York, and then within I think 10 days I booked my first off-Broadway show, and then within 2 months I was understudying my Broadway idol.
That's insane. That's
And so I kind of because everything always kind of happens really fast for me. You know, it's like, my first singing competition, I won Ohio Idol. I was a nationally competitive jump roper. I was a competition pianist. Like, I've done so many.
What was
Jump
the Broadway
roping,
show?
piano, cocktails,
Yeah.
and singing.
Wait, what was the Broadway show?
So where I did so the off-Broadway show was called Prison Dancer. It was the first Filipino written and produced and starring all Filipinos.
That's crazy.
In the show. Yeah, and so it won
That's
the
cool.
New York Musical Theater Festival. You know, it was pretty big. I think it's going to Broadway right now. So yeah, super super awesome shows like Romeo and Carmen. They're incredible. They were original kind of like Miss Saigoners in Canada, and then they were like, why are we telling all these like white savior stories and like making tragedy out of our existence? And so then they ended up writing this show called Prison Dancer about these this group of Filipinos, and it's completely blown up, and they've done so well for themselves. And so yeah,
Amazing. How long have you been in the industry?
I guess this is like 19 years being just in the industry in general, but then I would say I moved to New York and I was an actor. I ended up hurting my back during I did the first professional cast of Mulan. They were thinking about that show, and hurt my back and ended up just buying an iPad mini. Well, I stole an iPad mini from Apple, and
Not from production from Apple.
yeah. So I tapped out a play on a Google Doc, and it didn't really know how to write. And then that play ended up winning a national writing competition. And so that's kind of what brought me to LA.
National writing competition?
Yeah.
New York or LA?
LA.
Yeah, I fucking hate New York.
1,000%
I
LA.
hate New York.
Anyone who says New York,
It's soulless.
yeah. You're a workaholic. You have a drug and alcohol addiction, and you're white adjacent.
Starved for interpersonal connection.
Yes, exactly. And
not that we don't exist here too, but still,
exactly.
At least it's warmer here.
Yeah.
It's like people are cold, the weather is cold. Why am I here?
Yeah. I could go on about and I haven't gone back. There's no reason to.
Yeah,
I feel.
sure. New York is good food. Some good people.
I mean, but even like the ingredients of New York, it's like these ingredients aren't fresh. You come to California and you like, you caught this fish yesterday.
Right.
know?
Or like all these plants,
Yes.
these vegetables were grown here,
Exactly.
like miles away. Yeah.
Have you noticed like people who are from New York, like Asians or like Koreans, are different than Koreans in like LA?
For sure. I think the closer you get to Europe, I'll
Oh, I know where this is.
I'm gonna speak a little.
I never put that two and two together, but yes.
I think the closer that you live to Europe, the more soft power Europe has over your life. And so I think because New York is so close to Europe, there is this unconscious idolization of like everything that's, like stems from whiteness for me. And I think that's what's interesting is seeing like this. I think the decolonization of West Coast Gaysians has been so quickly. You can see it happen in the last 5 years.
That's crazy.
Whereas like the decolonization of New York it's such a slow process, because when a society and system is based on literally copy and pasting of Eurocentrism, then it's really hard to break out of it, And I'm not saying this is everybody in New York,
No,
but
of
I'm
course
saying that's why I'm like, LA, West Coast will
Same.
be my home.
Yeah, same. I grew up in Philadelphia, and then people used to be like, "Oh, you're the whitest person I know," and I was like, "That's not true." Also, that's racist.
Yeah.
I think. And it wasn't until I moved here and I was talking with other Asian people, and they were like, I told them that story, and they're like, "That's so fucking racist." I was like, "It is, isn't it?" Because people were telling me for years that I was oversensitive, and I'm a bitch.
Yeah. But I think it's also why we probably do well in certain situations. I know for a fact that's why I did so well in New York, and then why I've been doing so well in LA is because I know how to. There are so many micro code switches that you have to do that so many West Coast Asians have no idea what it is. Like the things that you have to do to just get a job, get people to like you at that job, like, get ahead at that job. These are all things that, like, if you don't do these things that are
There's
part of the
like
game,
a culture game. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Cool. So you won a cocktail competition, jump rope competition, Ohio Idol, national writing competition. What else?
I've written many handwriting competitions. I won a tornado poster safety competition growing up. I am
crazy
a
that you
competition
remember
pianist. Yeah, won many piano competitions.
very creative.
I won the Brooklyn Marvel Trivia Bowl. I win.
You're good with
I just
trivia,
win
huh?
Yeah. I just win. I win everything.
just
If
win.
you need to win anything, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I've never done it. If you need to win like a pickleball tournament, I've played it like 3 times, but I know that we will win. I'm very confident. Like, but not cocky. Like, I will make sure we get second so that the first place person doesn't feel bad. But yeah.
So you're just a hardcore winner.
I think when my dad was like a state champion in wrestling in Texas, like Texas in wrestling, and then he went to West Point, and then my sister became a professional dancer by the time she was like 18 and a half. My brother is like a savant, like pianist and music producer. Like, he'd just be like, oh, I'm with this celebrity right now. Like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, what? Like, and he's just like, oh, like, I just like worked on their music. And I'm just like, okay. And so I think weirdly we had the perfect kind of alchemy of like parents that were really, really pushed us super hard and then made us do a lot of different skills because it's the middle of Ohio and there's nothing else to do besides, learn all these things. And so I think
sibling rivalry.
Yeah, and really hardcore sibling rivalry. Yeah.
Are they still in Hawaii? I mean, Ohio, your parents?
No, my parents are now in DC. Yeah. My dad works in like the private sector for
Not much
aerospace.
better than Ohio.
Yeah.
DC,
No.
yeah.
DC's kind
Well,
of.
you're close to like the Koreans.
Annandale.
And,
Yeah.
No,
right.
for sure.
Oh,
for sure.
they're in Annandale.
They're probably like, I think they're like 15 minutes from Annandale, 20
Oh.
minutes. Yeah.
Centerville, no.
They're in Fairfax. Yeah.
Oh,
Do you know where Centerville is?
Is that Maryland? No.
No, that's Virginia.
Virginia.
That's where Chosen He is from.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember him?
I'm
Virginia
young.
Tech.
I'm so young.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I
I
heard
was
he
like,
was
why are
from-
you making that face?
Yeah. I know. I thought it was like
I'm trying to see, like,
a
does he know
K-drama
him?
star. No.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
What was it like having to reclaim, if your dad wasn't very into Filipino culture, what was it like having to learn, I say reclaim, but maybe just claim your Filipino heritage?
Yeah, that
What was
was
that like?
when I booked that show in New York. I booked the show because there was a guy from Ohio that was the casting director, and he randomly saw that I was from Ohio, so he cast me in this all-Filipino show, and it was the first time I had met other Filipinos
Yeah,
for the first
been
time.
around that much
Yeah.
Filipino-ness.
And so it was the first time I went to a Filipino restaurant. The first time I like heard people speak Tagalog, because my grandmother on my dad's side, she spoke Visayan, so didn't even speak like Tagalog.
Tagalog, yeah.
And so it was this very, a lot of things that we do, we think it's like, oh, it's my personality, but it's so many things that we do is so ingrained culturally, like how we see the world. Like, Han is a real thing. And I think the same thing with the Philippines, like that whole, it's more fun in the Philippines, like that mabuhay, just like always being so open and loving. Like, it explains so much of my personality that I never really realized. Yeah.
It's annoying. Mine is like that, but with ADHD. I was like, oh, that's just this very basic quality of ADHD. Cool.
Yeah. And it's like, why don't we? And then your parents probably did know, but then they're like, oh, that's not real.
Yeah. Definitely.
So you've been to the Philippines. You've been to Manila. Your grandmother spoke Visayan. So what is that, like Cebu area, right?
Yeah, it's more
Okay.
southern. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you've been to Korea?
I went to Korea once when I was 14, and then once on the way to Thailand. Just had like a little layovers, but I haven't spent a reasonable amount of time in Korea.
Oh, you have to go. It's
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah.
So you feel
Recently.
way more connected to your Filipino side?
I feel way more connected culturally to my Korean side. Like growing up, like I make like kimchi all the time, and like I cook mostly Korean food at home. But I think sensibility wise and who almost accepts, like I went to a rave over the weekend, and like Koreans are way more drinking culture, and so when I go to this rave, it's like there's like all the Filipino boys that are like go to raves, kind of thing. And so, so it's interesting to kind of balance both cultures kind of thing. And but I mean, like, I think that it's also changing too. There's like a whole Korean Gaysian community as well. And so they just had like a hompa a couple weeks ago where we all had parties. Do you know what hompa is?
Hompa?
Hompa. So it's called it's like short for home party, and they really picked up like
like a house party.
yeah, it's basically a house party. But basically, what you do is when you go inside, you check all of your clothes. Except for your underwear.
Like you take it off?
Yeah, and you put it in a little bag, and then you put your name on it, and then you put it away, and then you kind of, it's like everybody's kind of like on a level playing field kind of thing. So you don't, you're like someone's not wearing like all Gucci or whatever, and so you're all just kind of can like talk and like focus on each other and just kind of like build community kind of thing. And so we have, I don't know,
And
it's like,
it doesn't end?
there's like
in an orgy?
options. There's
Oh,
options.
okay.
So like there's like a dark room, but like I mean there's like food and there's like a dance floor, and so I think because we have them so regularly, it's just it's not
Normalized?
Yeah, like sex can be, I mean, if sex is a priority, you go to a warehouse sex party. If, like home pie is more like, oh my gosh, like let's catch up, let's have a good time, let's, just kind of have fellowship together, I would say. Yeah. And then you can leave and go to somewhere else, or you can,
That's cool.
meet somebody there. Yeah. It's
So
amazing.
what's up with these downtown sex parties?
So they're actually, that's almost, I feel like, where the evolution of queer Asian culture is going. I just went to a party in LA called Pegasus. And so it's this warehouse downtown party.
Pegasus.
These party
yeah.
names sound
And-
so fun.
Yeah, and so you go there. It's incredible. I need to show you that. Like the ceiling lights up. It's like all this crazy stuff. And then of course there's like a dark room where you can hook up or whatever. But we counted. I was with a pharmacist. It's a Vietnamese pharmacist boy. We counted, and we're like, oh my gosh, like Gaysians are over 60%
Whoa.
of this warehouse space. And I think what's really helped almost bring the community together is this big influence of like Chinese, Taiwanese, Hong Kong guys in the last, 10 to 15 years, because they've immigrated here. Like they've been looking for they've almost just been like curious about every space. And so they've made so many of these spaces that used to be hostile to Asians, like super safe for everybody.
Oh, it's like gentrification. It's like
Yeah.
how GPS, like people back in the day when you used to have to know boundaries, you used to have to avoid certain areas, but now with GPS, people are just blindly like, what? Oh, I'm driving through this area. Oh, what is this? Oh, can I live here? It's not that bad,
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's very similar to that, I think. And I think that there's like the Asian American spaces, and then there's the Asian spaces, and there's the spaces that we all go in together kind of thing. And as like I was an anthropology minor in college, so it's so fascinating to me to kind of see where all these intersections are, whether it's
Yeah.
queer, Asian, cultural, communal, or in the industry.
Okay. Where did you go to college?
I went to the number 2 party school in America, Ohio University.
It's not Ohio State. It's
Not
just
Ohio State.
Okay.
Ohio State is in Columbus, in the middle of Ohio. Ohio University is like the southeast corner of Ohio. It's like 30 minutes from West Virginia.
Okay. So my mom went to the other one, OSU. Okay. You went to OU.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Great. So we never really talked about. We just said you're in the industry, but primarily you're like a writer now, mostly, or
Yeah, I'm a writer, so I.
That iPad just started it off.
Yeah,
huh?
it really did. I didn't even have a computer. I was
thanks,
too poor.
Steve Jobs, huh?
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for dying for
Yeah, thank you
me.
for donating.
No, yeah. Yeah,
This iPad.
How did you find? How did you get that donated? Like, where was it?
I walked into the meatpacking Apple
Apple
store, and I realized they didn't have metal detectors there.
Oh, you straight up just walked out.
Yeah, they're not checking you. Who's checking me?
You know,
They're not checking me.
I thought it was gonna be like some like convoluted, funny, like mishappen chance story. You just were like, mine.
Well, I picked it up and I was waiting, but everyone is so busy, and I had to get back to work. Like I was like, okay, like I think my shift started at 3:45. It was like 3:15. I had to get to Soho because that's where I was working, and I was gonna just like walk back to Soho, but it's like a 20-minute walk. And so I'm sitting there in line, and like everybody, there's like a line of people. They were understaffed. And I was just like, I'm just gonna go.
Fuck this, yeah.
And then I just like was walking, and then I was like, maybe I'll just keep walking, and I'm going to go to jail now. No, I'm admitting to larceny.
No, it's like way past statute of limitations.
Yeah.
You didn't intend to steal it. You just got annoyed because of the line. You're like, you know what? I'll just walk out with it.
Yeah, I was just like, maybe I can, because I was like walking. I was like, let me see if I walk close to the front and just like and then I'm like, oh, there's no metal
detectors. Yeah,
It was crazy. There's no sensors.
I've done worse.
So all those
Yeah.
people were waiting in line. You're like, no.
Yeah, I said I'm not doing that. Yeah.
And then you became a writer who's been in the industry for nearly 20 years now.
Yeah, so I mean, that was like 11 years ago. And
that was 11 years
yeah,
ago. Okay.
and so I was an actor up until then, and then I moved to LA, and again, I just got very fortunate. I was living on my cousin's couch in Long Beach, and then a friend was like, hey, do you want to apply to this job at Maker Studios and write sketch comedy? And then so I got the job, and so I mean, like a month into living in LA, I was a working writer.
Like,
Near the
this
airport,
is
right?
easy.
Yeah, it was in Culver City.
I think
Yeah,
my sister was there for a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And and so then I mean it paid really well. It was like a full-time gig for, like almost a year. And so while I was there, I ended up getting nominated for like a Webby and a Queerty for music writing and for song parodies. And then I did the CAPE Writing Fellowship, which is like the AAPI Writing Fellowship. And then so I got like mentored by Adele Lim, who wrote Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
And so and then so that just kind of my career just kind of kept going from there. I worked on a bunch of Maker Studios, got bought by Disney, so that's how I got into writing the Mickey Mouse Club reboot. But it's very like, I just saw online, I was like, oh, they're rebooting this? Okay, I'm gonna find an interview. I'm gonna get an interview for this. Like, and it's very like, oh, it's gonna be a reality show, not a variety show. Well, I'm gonna ask if I can be a producer on this, or ask if I can do this. And they just kind of were like, okay, sure. Like it was very, I don't know.
Interesting.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even still, even as like serendipitous as it seems, and like you're like, oh, I just asked for it. But if you didn't have the skill set or the backup, history, they wouldn't have given it to you.
That's
I'm wondering, where did you learn your writing? I mean, you started with your iPad doing that stuff, but you must have been writing since you were young or middle school, or
I wanted to be a journalism major originally, and so I would write a little bit creatively. And I think my first short story I ever wrote there was a true story of two young boys that got stuck in a little dinghy of a boat, like off the coast of North Carolina. And so I just that was my first story. And then, God, I think that actually got in the finals for This American Life or something like that. And when I was 17. And so I think, I've always kind of liked writing, but I ended up just, not ever really pursuing it.
do you have any favorite writer, like novelists that we might know of?
I mean, I think definitely who really affected me growing up was like David Sedaris, his books, it was like those kinds of Dress Your Family in Corduroy and Denim, these kinds of memoir, sardonic, slice of life, but your life happens to be pretty peculiar in a way.
Yeah.
Is kind of, I think, where a lot of my storytelling voice comes from. I grew up just loving TV, for now we know too much about every actor and every writer, so it's kind of like you hate all your heroes. But I mean, I loved, 30 Rock and The Office and Parks and Rec and, all those things. And then combining that with, just loving Pokemon and Digimon growing up as a kid, things, and kind of getting that East meets West, through the TV. I think that's where it all came from, yeah.
You didn't watch The Wonder Years growing up, did you?
I did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you
With
over
Winnie.
40?
I'm 37. I'm turning 38. Yeah.
38 this year.
January. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So soon.
38 in January.
Yeah.
2025.
I mean, that's where the good writing is, right? Where it seems like something relatable because it's mundane, but something peculiar happens to you. So people who are reading or watching are like, oh, this could happen to me in my ordinary life.
Yeah. How do
I
you
love that too.
Yeah. How do you connect just emotionally to another human being?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you like The Wonder Years?
I was young when watching the Wonder Years, so my my aunt, one of my Filipino aunts, my aunt Celia, she had basically a Blockbuster in her basement. Every single week on Tuesday, she would just go and buy every single new movie. And my parents were really insanely religious. And so I think that there's a schism in my family because my parents are super, super religious and they wouldn't let us listen to music growing up. We weren't allowed to. My mom set my Animorphs books on fire.
Oh my
she wasn't allowed to
gosh.
read Harry Potter, because my parents were super, we wouldn't really do Christmas, or birthdays.
You were so religious, you guys didn't
Well,
even
that
do
seems like
Christmas.
Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Ohio, we went to this Ohio church called Abundant Life where the guy wouldn't, women weren't allowed to wear makeup or pants, because Ohio is just a different animal
It
too.
is a different animal.
Yeah. And so, but we would kind of have this escapism where my dad would have to go work in DC sometimes, and so my brother and I would be shipped off to our aunt's place, and we would just sit in the basement and fell in love with Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and Jet Li and every single comedy movie, Jim Carrey, Robin Williams.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Oh yes.
It would be so funny if you're like, look, all of our siblings are in entertainment. Guess
Yeah.
where we would be if you had let us watch fucking TV.
Oh wait, if you're
I would be an accountant.
wait, no, you brought up that your parents are super religious. They didn't let you do this and that and everything else. How do they feel about tattoos and dyeing hair and being and your being gay and all that?
Yeah.
What's that like?
Oh, I mean, I was basically disowned at 19. So I came out and my parents were like, you can we love you, but if you want to be a part of something, you have to kind of never act on your gayness kind of thing. And so I kind of back then it was just well, I decided to leave, but it's when your parents don't give you a choice and you have to leave, then it's that you disown, that's a disowning kind of thing. And so I mean I had to live kind of a scrappy life, I lived that summer when I was 19, I ended up staying with a bunch of friends' couches in Ohio, and then ended up just kind of getting my way through college on my own, and then taught for 2 years, then moved to New York. And it wasn't until when I was 25 when my dad, he ended up getting pretty sick and we thought he was going to pass away, and so then we kind of mended fences a little bit. So
About 12 years ago.
yeah.
And then do you see them every year now, or?
I don't see them that often. I think it's interesting when you raise your kids to be hyper independent and you keep telling your kids we are not your friends, we are your parents, there is a line here, then inevitably it's almost kind of sad, you raised me to not want or need you.
Yeah.
And so I think that there is something it's interesting because I'm very grateful for my parents to have raised me the way that they raised me, but it's also, I think my siblings and I, we all have very deep scars, and so it's interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so so the Wonder Years, you know about it, but you were too young and you didn't really get it. But As Good as It Gets, it came out I think in '97. That movie with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, with Jack Nicholson.
Did you like that movie?
I just remember the movie cover where he's holding that dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a white cover, blue letters. As Good as It Gets.
I mentioned because Greg Kinnear played a gay artist in that, and he talked about how his own father disowned him in the movie. And anyway, that's one of my favorite movies, and I watch it at least once a year.
Oh.
And I saw it recently, so yeah, it just
I was like,
triggered
that's
something.
random.
Yeah. Okay, I need to watch it. Yeah.
As Good as It Gets, great movie.
Never seen it.
And Helen Hunt is in it too.
Okay, I'll
And
watch
Cuba
it
Gooding
now.
Jr.
Wow.
Cuba Gooding Jr. plays Greg Kinnear's boyfriend.
That's right.
And then Helen Hunt is a waitress. And Jack Nicholson is a writer, like you.
Okay.
Apparently, Cuba Gooding Jr. wasn't acting too hard in that movie.
Oh.
He wasn't too hard?
Okay.
So he is gay, or what's the deal?
No, he had that. He was a part of that scandal with Diddy.
Oh, is
I
he?
mean, everybody is in that scandal with Diddy.
No, but there's videos.
There's videos of Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah, there's that one producer that went under Diddy's wing, And then Diddy basically told him, he's like, you have to like be with me and travel with me. So he like did. And then like Diddy at one of his parties like left him in a room with Cuba Gooding Jr., who then tried to like take advantage of him. There's like video of it.
Oh
So there's video of Cuba Gooding Jr. trying to grope a dude.
Or like try to take it. I think he was like trying to get him to like go to another room. I forget the details, but
Show me that.
there's a video of Cuba Gooding Jr. that is not
So he wanted to.
very great for him.
So I don't really know what's this Diddy. I heard some audio from a Diddy party. Do you know what I'm talking about? The audio,
There's been a lot of audio.
There's been a lot, so I don't know what you're talking about.
It's such
It's-
a deluge.
it's
of-
just some guys grunting and very rapid pace, "Rah!" like that kind of.
I did not hear that.
I was like, wait, is that P Diddy and who's the other one? Like, anyway, it's pretty wild.
You know the cuck chair at hotels? Yeah, that's forever going to be called a Diddy chair now.
Oh my god. The cuck chair.
The Diddy
This
chair.
is straight culture that I've never heard. The cuck chair. But I'm putting it together. That one chair in a hotel room
That's
is
always
just
facing the
there.
bed.
Yeah.
But it's always facing the bed. Like, what are you looking at?
Wow. Today I learned.
So Diddy's a watcher.
Supposedly.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he was the one doing all the wild stuff.
I mean-
If I had to guess, I would say that he wanted to, but the watching was either his kink or his way of
I think it's a
being around
control
it.
thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think he's like a Mossad agent or something?
No, I think he's just a fucked up
Yeah, but
dickhead.
why? How's he been protected this long? Even Tupac said stuff about him, and Tupac.
Well, I think it's a generational industry.
I don't think back then when people used to say stuff like that anyone took anyone seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just like, oh, we bust each other about being gay. It's like this joke. Like, oh, it's just part of like fun. I don't think anyone really started taking stuff like that seriously until maybe
Yeah.
like the Catholic priests.
And I think that, like when you look at the lineage of it, I think Clive Davis did the same things to Diddy, and then Diddy then did it to Usher. Usher did it to, Justin Bieber. And so I think it's this like,
Clive Davis is an older producer. I
yeah,
guess.
he's the one who like discovered like Whitney Houston.
Yeah, Clive
you know,
Davis is huge.
Motown, like he's
Oh.
super old.
Super
Black
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like it's been happening, it's been happening since that generation.
And then what? And then who did?
Wait, Clive Davis he has a daughter, right?
No, that's Quincy Jones.
Oh, that's Quincy
yeah,
Jones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no. Tupac's father. Tupac was dating Quincy Jones's daughter. Wasn't he? Wasn't he engaged to her? Kidada Jones.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyway, I remember seeing that in a magazine in '96.
Yeah, but even though people said stuff like that, I don't think anyone listened to it and then didn't start taking any
No,
of it
but
seriously until
Tupac
recently.
was shot, and he said that Biggie Diddy was watching from afar or something, and he blamed Diddy for him getting shot.
Yeah.
And anyway, there's a clip of Tupac talking about it recently that emerged on Twitter as a result of all this Diddy stuff. I don't know how crazy these parties got. I don't know what's really going on there, but and Diddy's on suicide watch, and then I hear all these like music executives are like CEOs are resigning. Like I don't know what's going on, and
Yeah, because anyone who had anything
Yeah.
to do with Diddy, like you
Yeah.
are going to get investigated.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
but that includes like even Kamala. Didn't Diddy do a fundraiser for her a couple years ago?
Yeah, but that's different than like working with a music
Yeah,
exec
yeah,
who
yeah.
was like going to his parties and like
Yeah, but
I mean,
is
like-
that gonna hurt her?
I don't think so.
No. I mean, even like the whole like the J-Lo of it all, J-Lo hiding like the smoking gun that
Yep.
Diddy used
Yep.
to kill people, and then they ended up putting up Shine, this other rapper, to like take the fall, and now he's in jail, and he's still in
But
jail.
like nothing happened to J-Lo. Like she's not getting a fallout other than the natural fallout of her being shitty or horrible.
Untalented.
And
human being.
apparently
Yeah.
there's like
And
theory-
untalented too, yeah.
and then they're saying things like why Ben Affleck or like Ben Affleck was warned and that's why he got divorced. I don't know how true any of this stuff is. There's so much shit out there.
Yeah, but Diddy for sure did all those things. I remember when I was like 20 something reading this like Playboy article that Usher was in, and he was talking about when he was 16 living in Diddy's apartment in New York, he would open up random doors and there would just be like an orgy happening there at the age of 16.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? Which at the time you're like, whoa, that's so cool. But now you're like, as an adult, you're like, oh, that is not cool. That's called grooming, and that's fucked up.
But you know the crazy thing about all this is we're having like all these videos and pictures and like like all this stuff. People are resigning and like all this stuff is going on. But when it was Jeffrey Epstein, what about all that stuff that implicates, very powerful politicians and, business people like that? I find it odd that how with Diddy they can do all this stuff, but with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, it's very like hush hush.
Yeah, but I think that might be just because I want to say it could be racially related, but Jeffrey Epstein had a bunch of politicians involved who have a lot more power. Whereas Diddy, I think, was just mostly with like CEOs and executives, which, yes, they have power, but not politician power to like hush things down.
And it's like, just take down the person that's most visible, It's like with Epstein, it's like just have Jeffrey Epstein kill himself, like in quotes, and then it's over. Whereas Diddy, we're saying that he's on suicide watch. It's like, no, he just they're going to, I mean, this is all, who knows.
Hearsay,
but,
yeah.
But I'm sure he's going to probably be taken out, and then it'll just be over, so.
Yeah. So anyway, do you like crispy bangus?
What's that?
It's a Filipino fish.
I
dish.
figured.
The fish here.
Is this bangus or not?
I don't know, bangas.
Wait, it's fish head?
Oh, is it bangus?
Yeah, bangas, yeah.
It's fish head?
Bangas.
No, it looks like a piece of fish,
Yeah.
like crispy bangus.
Yeah,
Oh, it looks like that.
yeah. I
I
do.
love crispy fish.
I love
I wanted to-
anything fried.
I wanted to ask you, like, what is
Yeah.
it? Like, is that? Let me guess.
Yeah.
Kare kare.
Yes, kare kare. I love kare kare.
So this is kare kare,
Uh-huh.
which is made with like peanuts.
Yeah, it's like a peanut-based curry. They'll have kind of like like different assorted vegetables in it, and then you'll have like I think this was an oxtail kare kare. Oh, the oxtail was so good.
So
Yeah.
kare kare is a peanut-based curry.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what that is.
Because
And
there's
yeah.
when you think of the Philippines, like and the confluence of trade within the culture, there's so much Chinese influence. You have like the Indian spice trade route, so there's like Chinese, Indian, Malaysian, Spanish, and then
Japanese?
Yes, Japanese and Chinese influence.
Right.
So it's like. So much of indigenous Filipino cuisine is just just Filipino cuisine minus Western influence is such a confluence of all the countries.
Yeah, the thing that I noticed when I went to the Philippines a long time ago, I was looking like, who are the richest people here? And I looked at them. So the richest was, I think, a ethnically Chinese, Henry C. S.Y. And then the second richest family was like the Ayala family, Zobel the Ayala family. They look white as hell. They're like straight up Spaniards. And they even had like a street in Makati named after them, Ayala Avenue. There's the Ayala Museum. They own all the malls they own a bunch of the malls and developments. And yeah, it was like, okay, I was expecting to see more Filipino looking people, but it was
Yeah.
like Chinese and white.
I feel, and also colorism is such a huge thing
Yeah.
in Southeast Asia specifically. I guess all of Asia, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So
And it's funny about that too is that like we all know that the Spaniards colonized the Philippines, and I know a lot of Filipinos are always like, "Oh, we're part Spanish." Did you know that only like 2% of Filipinos have Spanish blood in them?
every Filipino that I met in the Philippines that I knew for just a little while, eventually, I'm part Spanish. They would be like, yeah, we're from Spain or something.
Yeah, it's just so funny because like colonization, it shows is that like is also in the mind. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Right.
It's a psyche.
Yeah, I think that there's some reclamation happening right now. I think especially because that study came out, and it's just like, why are we Shay Mitchell?
Which I hate to say it, but was also partially became part of the conversation because of Shay Mitchell. Like when she did that Spanish thing, people were like, "Wait a second."
Yeah, we want to see the receipts.
Yeah.
Give me the 23andMe,
Yep,
honey.
yep.
Yeah.
Because people were like, all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, I just recently realized that only 2%."
Can you give me like a 20-second rundown on Shay Mitchell? What is this?
Shay Mitchell? She was on Pretty Little Liars.
Which is a TV show.
Yeah,
Freeform, yeah.
super beautiful, and she is Filipina when it's beneficial to her. But recently, she was on a dinner podcast type of video.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, someone said something about like being Asian or something." She's like, "No, I'm Spanish."
Yeah.
She's like, my dad was like from Spain, and like she said nothing about her Filipina, like nothing. And of course, people got a hold of her. Her aunt is only like the most famous fucking Filipina singer in history.
Yeah, her aunt is Lea Salonga.
Yeah, who fucking sang in The Little Mermaid? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
she was
amongst,
Jasmine.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. Aladdin, amongst like 1,000 other things that she's famous for, but she was also the singing voice of Jasmine.
Yeah.
So
She's gorgeous.
Shay Mitchell. Okay, she's not even young. She's like in her 30s. Like she's like
I think
37.
that's why too. But that's also like she's my age. I feel like is the cusp of where do you side in like history kind of thing.
Yeah. Are you one of those people who like self-hated on themselves
Yes.
because they needed to assimilate, or are you on the younger end where we're like reclaiming our identity and being
Exactly.
proud and
Yes.
saying that like we're no longer colonized in here anymore? Yeah.
Yeah.
And this incident happened what, this year or
Oh, like 3 months
Yeah.
ago.
really? Where's the Spanish? It's not in our wiki. It should be in our wiki. Spanish controversy.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
if you do, you'll see it.
It's
There
definitely on
were
TikTok.
So many TikToks about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you make one too?
I almost did.
Shay Mitchell,
I
Spanish.
almost did
I
too.
almost
It was
did.
like
So did she apologize later or
No, she just
No.
completely ignored it.
yeah.
She just ignored it, went about it, and I checked her comments for weeks. People did not let it go. People were like, "Oh, here's our Spanish queen!" Like, oh my god, the comments were ruthless.
And they finally let it go.
I don't know. I stopped checking because
Yeah.
I got.
Oh wait, my dad's Irish, my mom's Spanish.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's exactly what she said.
And this girl, your mom is from Pampanga. I've been to Pampanga. That's where Angeles City is. I haven't been to Angeles, but no Spanish there, but slay another Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah, because Vanessa Hudgens did the same thing. She was like Filipino when it was beneficial.
Why I used to hide my Filipino heritage. Man, that's pretty sad. There was a World Cup a few years ago. Didn't Spain win a World Cup about 3?
Yeah, but like 3 or 4 years ago, she made a video with Bretman Rock, who arguably is like one of the most famous
Yeah,
Filipino
for
men
sure.
in the world. And they were talking about how proud they were.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God, I didn't always used to be proud. So then like 2 or 3 years after that, to then be like, my dad is Spanish. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who say that they're proud to be Asian, but they're not, huh?
There's some.
If she's one of
I
them,
think some people go through a journey. Hopefully, Shay is just in the middle of her journey. It's just unfortunately for her, she's in the public eye, so
Yeah.
everyone saw it.
Yeah.
wait, her father's Scottish and Irish, which is just white,
Yeah.
and her mother is
It's
from Pampanga.
Filipino. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see
very
photos of her,
Filipino.
she is Filipino.
yeah.
Shay Mitchell's mom,
Yeah.
Precious. Oh, I know Precious.
Just Garcia.
Oh yeah, her mom's name is
Mitchell was. Oh wait, Precious Garcia. So this is the mother. On the right, I guess. She's
She's not Spanish.
Yeah, that's a
She's
Filipino woman.
1,000% not Spanish. She's a,
isn't that kind of insulting her mother? Or
it's insulting to everyone,
Yeah.
including
But-
herself.
like, how can she do that to her own mother?
how can she do that to her daughter, who is now a quarter Filipino?
Which reminds me of that TikTok or something. I saw this Asian woman. Did you know what I'm talking about? She's like, "Here's a life hack or something for all you Asian girls.
Yep.
If you want pretty babies or something, marry a white guy or something.
Oh.
It's too late for me. I already had my Asian kids, but it's not too late for you."
Oh my
It's
god.
like, if she has a son, how's her son gonna like?
yeah.
Are you saying I'm not good enough for you,
Yeah,
Mom?
that's crazy because you know how many people that I hear say to Asian babies, "Oh my God, that is the cutest baby."
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them.
Anyway, okay. So Shay Mitchell, we hope you get some help. You need some therapy. Let's end the last few minutes because we're almost out of time. You know, we've been having such a great time talking about.
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
I love the style
It's bad.
change in the last
Oh, thank you.
5-6
yeah,
months.
Yeah. I went through. I'm kind of going through like this. I hesitate to use the word poly because I feel like poly is like a Western construct, but I feel like there's a lot of queer Asian people that are practicing like abundant relationship practices. I feel, and where am I going with this? I had gone through.
where are you going
I
with this?
went through a recent uncoupling. And so I'm been working on my revenge bod, not revenge bod, but like
Fair.
my, getting, and then like
No,
I
you
cut
can
off
go
all my
revenge
hair.
bod.
Yeah. So
Why was that look mostly inspired by that relationship,
I think it
or
was
is it just like a shedding of the?
it was
fuckness?
shedding of self. I think.
It's totally like over here. You seem more like a nice guy who goes to like the library and stuff.
Yeah.
Over here, you look like what's
You're
it
ready
called?
to party.
Fuckboy or something?
Yeah.
I
I'm
was
definitely going for that.
The fuckboy look.
Yeah. So if there are any listeners here, please. Hit
What's
me
your
up.
type?
I'm very open to type, but I think that my friends. So like I'm looking for an infinity gauntlet of boys.
But your
I'm
friends
looking-
put you in a box. What's
Yes.
that box?
Okay. So the box is honestly like high. Like lower social. I have a very high social EQ, so I kind of like don't mind being around people with like a lower social EQ.
Oh.
And
Oh, isn't
then,
that exhausting?
Yeah. Well, it's just like I have very caretaker energy. So like
Oh.
I've dated a couple guys that are on the spectrum, so that's probably why I took in and like put him under my little wing.
What do you
helping
mean?
him out.
Oh wait,
You know?
I can't.
And oh yeah, sorry, cut that out. But and yeah, I think like I maybe I don't know, I guess I don't care if I say this, but like I've been into people who are like software engineers or in biotech or in
So
like
there's totally different
really,
types than you. Is what you're saying.
yeah.
But you like
So
to
you
take,
really don't have a type. You're just attracted to.
I'm attracted to like gentle people.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty like I'm happy to like fight people all the time. I'm like I would like beat the shit out of my bullies growing up. Like my brother and I are like never afraid to fight. Like if I'm in WeHo and there's someone who's like
Your dad went to West Point,
yeah.
so I'm assuming.
Like
yeah.
I like one time was like someone tried to steal my phone and in WeHo. This was like maybe like a year ago, and I like tackled them to the ground. I started just choking them out, and I was just like, throw my phone away, and I won't break your fucking neck,
Oh my god.
and I won't break your neck, but I'm gonna still hurt you, so that you can feel this, so that you know what it feels like to don't fuck with
Yeah.
anybody here.
That's like anytime when I had a shopping gallery, anytime someone tried to steal something, I would chase them down and I would literally chase after them until I got them and got
Yeah.
my clothes back. And people would be like, "Dude, it's just a shirt." I'd be like, "I don't give a fuck."
Yeah.
I was like, "You do not come in my store and you don't fucking steal shit." I was like, "I will hunt you down."
Because
so you were running this obviously not when you're having a gout attack.
One of the times it was on a one wheel. The guy was on a bike, and I was like, "I'm on a motorized skateboard, buddy." I was
Yeah.
like, "I have 5 hours left of battery."
Yeah.
What
Wait,
about you?
like a unicycle?
A one wheel. They're like a skateboard with
yeah,
one
yeah.
wheel.
Oh Jesus. Okay. I was just about to. Fuck. What did you just say before we got?
Before I derailed.
dating.
Oh
infinity gauntlet of
right.
Dating. Yeah,
so
yeah.
you like to take care of your men.
Yeah.
You be there for them emotionally or like motherly kind of
Yeah.
tender guy.
And physically.
Right.
Yeah.
So any guys out there who want to be,
He wasn't joking.
cared for, and he seems like a fun dude. So you want to have a wild, good time, let us
Or a
know.
relationship, whatever.
Yeah.
Nathan's open.
Just as long as it's just like, here's the thing, like queer Asians have been oppressed by both like straight people and by the Asian community, and so by creating our own community, we have been having, interestingly, this option to create like almost like utopian, really incredible structures. And whether that's just like bars, restaurants that are opened by gay Asians that like, or like the consolidation of wealth that's happened, because in the 80s and 90s, a lot of gay men in America died, but like they didn't want to fuck Asian guys. And so a lot of Asian men like survive, and also the AIDS epidemic didn't really happen in Asia. And so there's a lot of older, so Asian men actually have almost this warped, like kind of sad privilege that we have a lot of gay
Oh, I
Asian
didn't know that.
elders,
Yeah.
that have shit tons of money, that throw big parties, or like that like will help, like young people like, oh, like I want to invest in your thing. Oh, like you have a startup, like let me help you. I have these connections here, and kind of thing. And so by actually really creating this network, I think we've had this really interesting opportunity to kind of create.
Dang, I didn't know
infrastructure
about
outside
the
of it.
Asian gay elders. That
Oh,
makes
yeah.
so much sense.
Yeah.
For sure.
Dang, and then
Okay.
to now think of that as a privilege, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. And we're just going to, what is this you're eating here? It looks
What
like a
was that?
taco.
Yeah, this was an Asian fusion. I think this was maybe a chicken adobo taco or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Also, I can't believe that chicken adobo is more famous than
Yeah.
than pork adobo. Because
Yeah.
pork adobo is like crack.
Slaps. Yeah.
I mean, chicken adobo is delicious.
Yeah.
But pork adobo, I mean, we're
So
talking about pork
fatty.
belly. It's
Oh,
so
yeah,
good.
pork belly.
Oh my God, I'm literally
Yeah,
mouth-watering.
Yeah, so everybody, if you guys want to, meet this Korean Filipino guy, Nathan, leave a comment or, are you okay to put your social media in the description?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll leave his social media in the description box below.
Yeah.
And, for good Filipino food, watch this video. Maybe we'll link it in the description also. You can watch Nathan and Elaine go out to historic Filipino town. You gave some good history lessons about why Filipinos don't use knives and everything because the Spaniards took it away, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they couldn't fight back.
Yeah.
So,
That's why we also wear like the barongs, like the see-through shirts.
Oh.
Spanish. Yeah. Where like because you would hide weapons, to fight back.
isn't it also, what's the full name of that?
Holy
Is it
shit, I didn't know
Tagalog or
that.
something?
Yeah, Tagalog barong. But
Okay, right. I was thinking of getting one of those, and then I looked up, are they comfortable? They said it itches you or something, or...
Yeah, but
Probably
you wear an
chafes.
undershirt. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But that's what, like, the presidents and stuff wear, right?
Yeah, for like weddings, stuff like that. Yeah.
I did not know that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So-
Everything is colonization.
Yeah, watch this Rocco Life video to get information about Philippines history and all that, and also Filipino food with Nathan and Elaine. And, they tried all kinds of stuff here, so check it out. Let's see if there's anything else. Valor. But Bataan, right? Was not our last battlefield. We are still fighting for equity. And you can see David's reflection in the back there. People breakdancing in the back, or skateboarding there. To digest a little, we came to Lake Street Park that was around the neighborhood. Okay.
You look like a totally different person.
Yeah. Very different.
You look
Yeah.
like that guy's younger brother.
Thank you.
Oh,
appreciate it.
the bad one. The one that gets into trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The trouble. Man.
Have you ever had this kind of fuckboy look before? Is this your first time?
I think my attitude's just changed. Like right now, I think I was working out because I really wanted validation from people. And now that I've validated myself,
I think that's the reason why most people work out.
Yeah, but like now I'm like, I don't really go on, Grindr anymore. I don't really like go on Hinge because I'm like, actually like I have personal validation, so I don't really need to. And because now I look, I guess, better in person, now I just can go to a club or a bar or a rave or whatever and then just like meet people there. But it's just an energy thing, I think. It's just like I feel good, so yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, it's been great. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Do you have anything coming out or anything we can keep
Yeah,
an eye
anything
out
to
for
plug?
you to help support?
I had an all Asian rom-com that came out on Amazon called Five Blind Dates. They're doing a remake of it with starring Simone Ashley, who the lead star of Bridgerton. So she's.
Oh shit! You're on Wikipedia.
Oh, I guess I.
Five Blind Dates, directed by Sean Seat.
Yeah,
Screenplay by Nathan Ramos Park.
Yeah.
Amazon, you said?
Yeah,
gonna
Amazon,
watch that.
and yeah, then they. So I think the British version with Simone Ashley is coming out. I
Do you
think
know
next-
Kylie?
I wish I knew. I wish that was the Kylie. Yes.
No, because isn't that? I'm trying to guess if you pronounce this Dufresne.
Yes, Kylie Dufresne.
Yeah, just like Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption. You've seen that, right?
Yes.
Okay, great writing.
Yeah.
hasn't?
Beautiful.
Shawshank is a classic.
Yeah, for sure.
Music by Shirley Song. Well, so it's a lot of Asian. Are they all Asian?
Yeah, I mean, like there were a lot of things like this. This movie, I had it in writing that they weren't allowed to cast like a half Asian for the male lead. It had to be a full Asian man for like the. Not just have spoilers, but like there was a lot of things that I was just like pushing for, and so.
When are you going to get your own wiki? You should make your own Wikipedia page.
I don't like people knowing who I am or what I'm doing.
Well, it's too bad because you're in the industry. People are going to find out about
Yeah, but you should still be able to control your narrative.
Yeah. It's interesting because I've been recently, like my reps are like, you should, we should, do TikTok more because I do go viral quite often, like in my past, and I just don't like that. I wish I could do that without having
notoriety.
Yeah, having to be consumable. Yeah. It's weird. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to.
Like, people comment shit about me all the time, and I'm like, I know I put that out there, but why do you know that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. People are like, how's your gout doing? I'm like,
Oh, geez.
Oh.
Is that from this show or?
I don't even know, because I talk about it all the fucking time because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I have to say, I think it's cool that you drive a Korean car.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Your comments and questions come out of left field.
I'm just trying to, whatever.
Hyundai?
Yeah. Oh, no, Kia.
Kia.
Yeah, EV6.
Oh, I like the EV6.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I love it. Yeah. It's got.
The back is so sleek. Mm-hmm. My favorite
It's
part.
like modeled after a tiger. I didn't realize.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, literally?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Inspiration.
Well, we've gone over again. We're going to go over 110 again.
Yeah.
But it's okay because it's Nathan.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, 5 blind dates.
Yeah.
Check it out. And, 5 blind dates or a blind date with
And
Nathan.
check out the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah,
out-
that was in 2017.
Oh, shit,
and
that was that long
Yeah, and
ago.
it really pushed for diversity, and they accidentally cast like 4 Filipinos.
Accidentally.
Well, because they couldn't ask like what their ethnicity was because their last names.
Oh,
but
shit.
also all these Spanish
They're like,
last names.
Yeah, they're like, we're pretty sure he's Latino.
Yeah, that's what happened.
So that guy's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
Asian. They're like,
Ramos.
we're all Filipino.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So,
You want Asian representation in mainstream media? Yeah. watch
All the
it.
time.
Yeah.
And can you show the back? Are you okay to show your back shirt? I thought it was interesting.
Oh, yeah. It just says.
So Ed's shirt says, support Asian-owned businesses and creatives.
Ooh,
So,
nice.
Ed is saying, let's support Nathan and
And us, technically.
and Ktown Social
Yeah,
Club.
yeah, absolutely.
All
All
the
of
stuff
us.
that we do, and
Yeah.
Doug, and everyone who comes here, and because we're all pretty much Asian, I think.
Because that is the one thing that we do commiserate with the gay Asian communities. Like, we are all familiar with not being supported, so we support each other.
For sure.
Yeah. So this is Ktown Social Club. So anyway, that's it for us today at Ktown Social Club. Thanks to Nathan
course.
for coming in and sharing with us about your life, and and educating us and all this.
I wonder what the dynamic would have been like if Douglas was here.
Delightfully combative. So have me back. We can tussle.
Yeah, let's do it when Doug's back, because I don't want to talk about him when he's not here. So.
Yeah. No, I think Doug and I, we have a very sibling relationship. I feel.
Who's the older brother?
Oh, I'm the older brother. Oh my god.
Oh, even though.
Sometimes the older brother is less mature.
Oh.
So you don't have to be the older brother, is what I'm saying. Oh, I didn't mean. Yeah, that's not what I meant, Doug.
Yeah.
Shut up.
And Doug will be back again soon, I think, with not next week, but the week after maybe, or
He might be back
join
next
on
week.
Zoom.
Yeah, he's on Zoom.
Yeah, but perhaps. And you're going somewhere like in a month or something, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Taiwan Pride. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So.
But that's like a
Oh, their
week or
pride is
something.
late.
Yeah, but because it's the biggest queer, it's the second biggest gay Asian event in the world, besides White Party in Bangkok. So White Party is are the big gay Asian New Year's party. So it's there'll be hundreds of thousands of gay.
When are
Asians.
you leaving? Is that in
That's,
mid-October? or-
October 24th to 29th.
Oh, okay, so we can probably do it before.
Okay.
Yeah. So when Doug gets back, I think early October. Yeah. Then we'll set something
Or-
up. We'll have a fun
We'll
time.
have a house po.
A home pot.
A home po episode. We're
Yeah.
all just middle-aged men shirtless.
I'll sit in. I'll sit in.
That's
I'll sit in the cuck chair.
sounds amazing.
Okay. All right. So
The cuck chair.
the cuck chair. Thank you for tuning in to Ktown Social. Wait, that's the intro one.
Nope, that's it.
Yeah, and thank you guys for having tuned into Ktown Social Club. It was a great episode. Shit.
What is happening?
Like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to this channel, and smash that notification bell. Follow all of our social media in the description box below, where we'll also link Nathan's social media and also...
Ours?
No, I thought there was a video I was going to share.
Yep, the Filipino outing.
Oh, the Filipino Rocco Life video.
Yep.
Check the description box below for that. And I'm Michael Kim. And thanks to Ed Choi and the Rocco 1540 robot, and to our very special guest today, Nathan Ramos Park. Thank you very much for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was a great time.
All right. Peace out, everybody. Till next time, stay safe and love one another and all that.
Oh.
I just realized if you do it like this, it looks like you're shaking it like this. That's confusing.
Oh, crazy.
A lot less effort.
So instead of doing this,
Yeah, you don't have to give yourself arthritis. Just
from the side, it's just like this, but then over here, it's like this.
Podcasts, a visual medium.
Can you imagine if we, no network, whatever, podcasts.
I could keep talking forever. This is great. This is so fun.
Is it fun?
Yeah. So we just became friends, but he started dating a half Korean, half Vietnamese boy that was living here in Pico Robertson, and then that guy needed a roommate. Place is rent controlled, 2 bed, 2 bath, 2 parking spots, a backyard.
what?
Backyard, too.
And it's rent control.
And it's rent controlled, and Pico Robertson. I don't even want to tell you how much it is. It's like,
Wait, you lived in the place with Doug that was also rent controlled?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you keep finding these rent controlled places?
Oh, I still live there, so I've lived there for 9 years now.
Oh, so Doug lived there before.
Yeah. No. So Doug moved into my place, and then he moved out. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so
Yeah.
Doug keeps finding these rent control places.
Yes.
So Doug
Yeah.
moved into your place.
Yeah.
And then
And he
now,
moved.
okay.
Then he moved back to New York, and then he moved to Sawtell.